Hello and welcome to this build video of the Modular in a Week SITH module, or if you prefer, sample or track and hold module. And this is what you get if you buy the kit. If you don't buy the kit, you only get this. If you don't buy anything of this, well, you just need to source this to build it with a protoboard of some kind, front panel, and these components ish. So this module is a bit different than usual in the fact that all the resistors are standing up, so they are not as shallow on the board as they are normally. So we might not start with them. Let's see what we should start with here. We shouldn't start with these, at least. Not those, not that. So there's not that many components that is not front panel components, which is all this up here. So it's just these and then lots and lots of resistors. But yeah, this one is lying down, so let's start with the diode. That is for the power, so that's actually on the back side. And diodes are one-way streets, and there's a gray marking on the physical diode, and that goes where the double line is on the silk screen. So this is a 1N5817. All the components are marked, should be marked with their values, so it should be easy to find them. So you don't really need the schematics anymore, which was needed in my earlier modules. But if you do this, it's not needed. But of course, it's good to have it handy, close by. Prime that a bit. All right, we can continue with the stuff on this side, I guess, since we're already here. So this is the 10U capacitor, and if you look at the silk screen, there is one pin that has a plus on it. That's where the long pin should be, and there is also one side that is a bit more white than the other side, and that's where this white part should be. So just place that like so. That's good. Always just checking so there's no overlap. This is quite close between the legs, so it's always good to check so there's no short circuit there. Let's add this one as well, and we have that in place. And I'm pressing down on this surface just to make sure that it gets good. It is connected flat to the PCB. we go. And yeah, these, I'm going to wait with these because there is a lot of those resistors, so I think these will be in the way. So let's wait with those. Let's add the IC holder, and there is on the IC holder there is a small indentation at one corner, and there is the same indentation on the silk screen. So you just line them up, and that makes it easier to know which way your IC should be later on, because the IC usually also have this indentation and or a small dot up in the upper left corner, and that should then be, so that's pin 1 up there in the left corner with the indentation. Again, so let's see if we can hold this straight here. That's good. And we don't put that in place right now. We add the transistor, the 2N3904, which is there. It also becomes very shallow because you can just push it all the way through. You don't have to have it standing on the legs up. We can just place it like so. And that's why we can add this before the resistors, which will take way more space. And here we got, these are also very close, so we have a short circuit right now, and we're gonna fix that. We're just gonna cut the legs off. There's a few ways of doing this. One way is you take the PCB like this, and you heat the, in this case, this area up where you have the short, and then we just hit, and there we have a small pebble of solder that flew off, and we don't have a short anymore. So that's one way of solving a short. Let's add the final capacitor. This, let's see, should be, here we have it, 100 nanofarad. And now we can begin to just add all these resistors, which is basically just the R2R network for our 10-bit output of this circuit. So we have some 2K resistors here. Let's place them. No, not like that. Of course, like this. The standing resistors, you see there is a circle between one leg, and that is basically to show that you can put the resistor there, and then you bend the leg like this, and then there is a short opening in the circle, and that's this where the second leg should go, because so you know the orientation. Almost messed up there because I didn't do like so. Might be a good explanation to have. And there we have two more. And that's all the 2K. So I'm going to solder these in place. I'm going to do that. The freestanding leg we can solder from this side. And then the other one we need to do from the bottom because the resistor is of course in the way. Oops. There I accidentally blocked the hole, so that will be a problem for in a minute. The next resistors. Yeah, and my cat is craving some attention here. Some cuddles usually is enough. There I filled another hole, that's not good. I have quite a big soldering tip on this one, so it might touch a few other solder pads while that's not supposed to be touched. Yeah. We have two 10K resistors. We can put those out. There's one up here. And there's one down here by the op amp. There's one more 10K resistor there, so need to fix that. There should be 3 10K resistors in this kit, so we're gonna fix that. So now we take the 1K resistors. Might as well take them now. And it is getting crowded here now, so that's why. Let's see if we can, what we can do. I'm actually going to put this way, so it'll be easier to solder in place. And the same with this one. So of course you don't need, oh, there's the one that was blocked. Okay, let's wait with that one. And I'm gonna add a few of these. It's just soldering all the resistors in place. There's not much to say to that effect. Just make sure that they're all soldered. Let's see. So I have to fix my little mistake here. So there's one pad here that is soldered stuck. So I'm just gonna heat that up while I try to push this in. Not doing a good job at that. Let's see if this one works in this direction as well. So we heat this up. Does not work. We of course have tools for this, but it's always, I like when you can skip the tool, but I guess we can't skip the tool today. So we take our solder section, oh dear, I think we have a big problem here. But that's good. Oh no, look, I actually managed to get it out. All right. So we have a bunch more of 1K resistors. We have 2 down here. And we have a few more in here. Let's see if I can get that in there. Might have a few on this side as well, actually, to not overcrowd the other side, which is already very crowded though. But so there is one, and that's it. So let's find the last 1K resistor. There it is. Right there next to the op-amp again. And we place it the opposite way around for easier soldering so we don't melt the IC holder. So the missing one, 10K. That will definitely be in the kits you buy. There we go. And then we have two 100K resistors as well. So let's add them. And they are this one down here, and there we have one standing as well up here. There we go. Oh. That one as well. So that's the last of the resistors, which is basically most of this build feels like. Let's add this one, or these ones, and there's also the problem with one of the solder pads was actually, I messed that up before, so let's see if we can just heat this up. And so, and I press that in. It is not very straight though. Yeah, it's straight-ish, I guess. So to put these on, these are the headers for the Arduino Nano. I would really recommend that you have one, if not the one, at least a one, but best is of course if you have the one that you're gonna use. So this is not the one I'm gonna use, but it's better than not having it at all. Just to make sure that you align it well. So in this case, that is quite good, I think. So we can, because this one was already soldered, I'm gonna heat that up again so it actually aligns even better. And then we can just attach one more on the other side, and that looks good. So then we can just put all the other ones in place. And there we have the holder for the Nano. And then the rest is just all these pieces that are supposed to go onto the front panel. So we put those in place. We have one double switch, fits up here. That might be a tight fit, but it should fit. There we go. And these nuts should be the same, but I still choose to keep them separated just in case. So that's for the double one, that's for the simple one. And then we have the jacks. You know the drill, Donkey Kong jacks. There's the hole below is for the ground pin, like so. And then these should also just snap in place, the potentiometers. And let's wait with the LED and the button. I think that is about right. If we want to, we can add a nut up here and up, down there and up here if we want to make sure it stays somewhat in place. I choose to do like this and put the panel onto my, so it's all lying on the panel. That way I think it should get a good fit towards it. And then we solder everything in place. And I'm gonna hold off on the big switches for a while. And that is good. And then we connect these big ones as well. And this one down here. So in the first version of these I had yellow LEDs and button, but in this one I'm having a red LED and a red button because SITH is red, basically, in all the movies, I believe. So we add this button there, and this button then has this red little hat. Not a red hat, but it is a red hat. Very much a red hat. And then we have the LED. And the LED has a long leg and a short leg. And also there is one side on some LEDs, not on this one, that is that has a ledge and the other one doesn't. But on this one both has a ledge. But that you see there is the circle around the LED on the silk screen has a flat side, then that should be the flat side. But this LED doesn't have that, of course. Instead, this one, but the flat side is the short leg. So, like so. And make sure I say the correct thing. To make sure I say the correct thing, we take another LED. So on this one, I don't think you can see this, but there is actually so it's cut off, the lower ledge here is cut off on this side where the short leg is. So the short leg should go towards the flat surface, or down in this case, like so. And we put this back on. And let's get this button in correct. Tighten this down a bit better now. Yeah, we need to put that one on as well. So we're gonna leave it like that, and so we make sure the LED is put in place and the button is in place, and we solder these to the LED like so, and the button. There we go. So here's the final module. We're gonna put this one back in, or back in. We haven't had it in yet, but let's put that in its place. And then we're again, so the little notch in on the silk screen and on the holder and on the IC should all line up. And when you do that, everything should be connected correctly. So there. Let's put all the nuts in place, and then we go over and fix the code in the Arduino and put the Arduino in, and this should be done. So for the hardware part, we are done, and we haven't checked for shorts, of course. We can always do that. The best thing is to take out a multimeter, put it in the tone test to make sure, for a diode tester basically, and just make sure that there's no short between plus and ground, and minus and ground, and minus and plus. And there's not. So it should work. But as I said, this is done. This is it for the hardware part. Let's go and fix the software part, and then we can check the final result. For the software part, you go to my GitHub. The link is in the description for the Arduino sample and hold, SITH. You can read a bit about it. You can find this video here, and you can find the schematics if you want that, the picture of the front panel, the parts list. If you don't buy my kit, you can find the parts list here. Let me know if there's an error. Sometimes there is an error because I have to pick a part from LCSC, and then it's actually not that part that I'm using, for example diodes and stuff like that. But for diodes, you of course need to find whatever color of diode that you want, red, green or yellow. So I haven't specified the part here, so you need to find that part. If you want my hats for the buttons, you can find that there, and an Arduino you can find there, which you will need for this code. So the code is here. It's an INO file. So again, if you want to change the code, as I talk about in my other video, you can do that. You can add an alternate function down here. Here's a bunch of examples, and one example or two of these that are baked into one down here as an example. So we download this. You can use this little button there, and we get this INO file. You can open it in Arduino IDE or whatever program you're using to upload INO files to your Arduino. So we have it here, and if you just connect your Arduino to the computer, you should just be able to compile and upload. So there it's done, and he thanks us for that. And now we can plug this into the SITH, and we should be good to go. So once the Arduino is into the SITH, we can, if you have a power, you connect the power and see that the Arduino lights up like so. Make sure it's not hot, and the other part that can be hot is this little op amp in there. And if something is wrong, if you have a short somewhere, you will feel it with your thumb. To make sure everything works without plugging anything in, you can do that just to make sure that you get a signal on the hold. If you don't have anything to plug into this, except a mixer, then you can put it in internal noise, track mode, and out, and you should have white noise, like so. And these should affect the noise, but not too much. If you have a oscillator, we have that over here, you can just plug your output into the oscillator and you will get noise again. If you go into sample and hold, get the clock in, and you will see that works. If you then have an LFO or something, you can take that signal into the input, choose external input, and see that that works as well. And that should be all the basic functions. If you want to know more, there's a whole video on all the stuff you can do with this, and I am sure that you can find out way more cool ways of doing this than I have already. So yeah, thanks for watching, have fun with your new module, and I will see you some other time. Bye.